Today we will look at how to reproduce Roman bronze coins that look as real as if they were truly ancient. Aureus, denarius, and sestertius. These coins were legal tender in ancient Rome for centuries. Today, they are sought-after collector's items among numismatics enthusiasts. Here we see 2 gold coins from Emperor Vespasian and his son Titus. Each gold coin was worth 100 sesterces. And these are 2 Roman silver denarii. They depict Emperor Trajan, under whom the Roman Empire reached its greatest extent. 1 denarius was worth 4 sesterces. On the right is a dupondius of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. 2 dupondi were equal to 1 sestertius. And on the left we see an ace. 4 aces were equal to 1 sestertius. There are many other denominations, including semis, quadrans, follis, and siliqua, but we don't want to overdo it now. If you like what you see below, please subscribe and click the bell. It's free, and you'll always stay informed. The Roman sestertius was first minted in the Roman Republic. Back then, it was still made of silver and weighed only 1 gram. Julius Caesar was the first to have the sestertius minted in bronze and in large numbers. However, the various denominations commonly referred to as bronze coins, such as asses, dupondis, and sesterces, are actually made of entirely different alloys. A sestertius originally had a diameter of about 35 millimeters and a weight of approximately 25 to 28 grams. With the decline of the Roman Empire, however, its size, value, and weight decreased. The purchasing power of 1 sestertius by today's standards is around $10 to $20. Incidentally, the salary of a Roman legionnaire was 1 sestertius per day. However, bonuses and special payments were not uncommon in the Roman legion. But how do you actually create such a bronze Caesar III? And how can you patinate it so that it truly looks antique in the end? This requires extensive research, which the artist Georg Michael Meller kindly undertook for us. First, we need sesterces. In ancient Rome, these coins were struck. This meant that a bronze coin blank was placed between a coin die that had an obverse and a reverse. The coin was then struck with strong blows on the die. This is called hammer striking. However, we are content with casting sesterces from bronze, because the production of stamps would be far too complex and expensive. A real sesterce serves as a template. A mold is then created from silicone. The key word here is mold making. Liquid wax is then poured into the mold and the sestertius is created. Bronze casting is complex, so it's not worth making just a handful of coins. If you're going to do it right. A whole box full. Bronze casting molds are then created using molding sand, and the wax from the coin blanks is melted out. A reference to this process is the lost wax casting process. After casting, we have this result, and there are still many steps to go before the replicas are the way we want them. Casting residues, burrs, and the connections of the pouring and air ducts must now be sanded off individually by hand. At the end, each individual coin is polished to a high shine and we have a whole box full of shiny bronze coins, just as they looked after they were made in ancient Rome. The most difficult part is over. Before we show you the most sophisticated way to create a genuine patina, we want to affix a modern hallmark to the narrow side of the replica. We don't want to counterfeit coins, but rather create replicas. However, the casting technique and the mechanical grinding leave such marks that they are visible upon closer inspection. And that's how it should be. Ancient coins don't have such marks. The following task is not for those with clumsy motor skills, as the bronze sesterce is only a few millimeters thick. The punch is applied with a sure strike. Ready. But how do we get the patina on the coin? Of course, it can simply be imitated, and it looks quite convincing, as demonstrated by this magnificent brooch with a portrait of Domitian. Even remnants of the found incrustations are simulated. But we want a real patina. That's why we do it exactly the way art forgers do. They like to simply bury their bronze fakes in their garden and let the grass grow over them. And that's exactly what we do. We leave them in the ground for 1 to 2 years. The longer they stay there, the more intensely the patina develops. Unlike our artist, however, they should always remember exactly where they buried the coins. Otherwise, your garden will quickly look like an artillery training area. But it's all the more wonderful when you finally find something. You almost feel like an archaeologist who's made a sensational discovery. The color of the patina can vary. For example, greenish, reddish, brownish, or even black. This depends on the soil conditions and moisture and can, of course, be artificially controlled. Let's hope our artist really dug up all the sesterces in the garden. In the end, archaeologists will find our sesterces hundreds of years from now in the North German lowlands, and history will be rewritten because these finds clearly prove that the Romans did indeed cross the Elbe. That was just a joke. So it's even more clever if you simply bury the bronze objects in a box. Our finds are quite impressive, aren't they? First, they are cleaned. By the way, this method even works in flower boxes. And the hallmarking is also successful. We hope you enjoyed it and got some inspiration. Why not try it yourself? Even if you don't have the experience of casting bronze, these gold coin blanks are available in select shops. For example here. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. Stay curious.